gal, Paulette with Back to Basics Mom here. So today I have a really fun little card for you featuring some stamps from Ink Road Stamps. And I super sped this up because it's a pretty simple card. Basically, we're just going to do a whole bunch of heat embossing. So the name of this set from the Ink Road is... I'm going to have to look that up and put it below. They don't put them on the packaging at this time, but she's a brand new company and she's a small company, so definitely check her out. So I just am going to, like I said, do some heat embossing. So I'm just using my embossing powder and covering this piece of cardstock, and then we're going to use some Versamark and some, actually I'm going to use my black VersaFine, my Onyx Black, and then put clear over it. I really love when you're trying to get black. I find that is the absolute best way to go because black embossing powder just tends to get everywhere. So I'm going to do it a couple times to get a good impression, and then we're going to use the clear. So I was having some problems tonight. I was getting a little bit messy with my ink pad. I wish they had that VersaFine in a small ink cube because this would have been a perfect project for that. But we may do move along, and we're just going to heat emboss with the heat tool. This cardstock out of this pack warped really, really bad when I heat embossed, and it was a little bit frustrating. So it's weird how some cardstock does that and others don't. So I'm just going to rearrange my images, and we're going to do that again. So these stamps from the Ink Road are really fun, but they don't have, I think they're more for planners or scrapbooking or something. The images are kind of small, so it was a little bit more difficult for me to wrap my head around as a card maker, but they're still super fun. I'm sorry for the super shaky video. My family was walking around upstairs and my camera hangs off the ceiling down here, so got a little shaky there for a minute, but we did round two. We're going to do some more heat embossing and get that melted and move along. The set has some really fun little images and sentiments. So again, I will link the company below so you can check them out yourself and see some of the really fun stamps that they have. So I'm going to switch it up, and we're going to use a couple of different stamps with this set. I decided they have some of the little hearts like that are part of the game that these stamps go to. So we're just going to heat emboss those in some red. I'm sorry I got off camera here a little bit. But these embossing powders I'm mostly using tonight are from a big multi-pack I got from Joann Fabrics. I think they're Hero Arts, but don't quote me. I cannot remember. I bought them a really long time ago. But it had a nice assortment of colors in it, and it was a good deal, and I think I got it 50% off. So I think it cost me like $10 for all of those. So now we're going to add a few more images. I picked out, they have a bunch of different little swords, so I just picked one that I liked, and this one we're going to make silver. So like I said, lots and lots of heat embossing on this. I wanted something fairly simple, not some, I didn't want to do a lot of ink blending or anything like that. Again, I'm really sorry about the shaky video. And the speeding it up seems to have enhanced. I thought it would kind of mellow it out a little bit, but it hasn't. So I'll probably have to maybe I'll try this video again, but for now we're going to stick with this and just kind of see how it goes. So I decided to do another sword. It was a little hard to get the handle and the base snugged up to each other, but overall it still looks really great. And on the second one, for some reason, my inking got a little crazy and out of hand, so I just took a little paintbrush in there and brush some of the stray embossing powder away. So we're just about done with that part, and now we're going to change it up, and we're going to do the sentiment, and we're going to add a little bit of different color and dimension. So we're going to do some faces, and we're going to do the sentiment that I saw this sentiment right away I looked at this stamp set, and this was the idea that jumped into my head. So I really hope it works out in the end, and And it did. It met my expectations, so I was really excited about that. If you're curious why I have this little blue piece on my stamp positioner, it is a super thin piece of fun foam. It's actually from a set that I got from the Dollar Tree, so it's super, super thin. I was having a little bit of an issue with some of my clear stamps on this stamp positioner, some really big ones I had that I was having like kind of spots that it was taking me 3 or 4 times to get it to ink right. I think it was just the nature of those couple of stamps. So anyway, so I just put this little super skinny piece of foam in there and it worked just fine. So I just love how this green embossing turns out on this black cardstock. So, and these tiny sentiments are really great for using up your scraps. This black is a piece of scrap that I had left over from the video I did the other day with my scan and cut. I did a beginner scan and cut video that turned out really well, I think. So check that out if you don't have a scan and cut, or you have one and you're afraid to use it. So my first set of sentiment that I did for this card, the embossing did not come out quite right, and I wanted another of the little faces anyway, so I just had to do it again. I think I just smushed it down too hard or something with these silicone stamps. Sometimes if you press too hard, that happens, but it came out really good, and this embossing powder has a little bit of a shine to it anyway. So we're just going to trim those out. And just got my little Creative Memories trimmer here. Had it forever. Use it for almost every card I make. And then I decided to make it a little bit smaller so we could see the edges of the card base a little bit better. So we're just going to trim all these out so we can finish up our card. It's hard to get these things, the border around them all even so it looks right when you're just kind of winging it. So I found some foam tape buried in my desk. So we're going to pop this up a little bit. Just give it a little bit of dimension. I really think popping this up on the foam tape really made this card stand out a lot more. It really made it a lot more fun. So I was trying to figure out where to put that, and then I decided to change my thinking a little bit, and I wanted to get it on the card before I made my final decisions of where to put it. So I actually ended up covering the other little face down there because it just kind of didn't really fit any other way, and I love how it turned out. So my ATG gun, and I blinged it out recently after I was playing with some vinyl, so that was kind of fun. So I just had some extra pieces cut. So I want to go ahead and thank you for stopping by and for joining me and liking and subscribing. I really appreciate your time. And yeah, we're just going to finish up this card. We're going to put a blank on the inside. We're going to take that last little face and put it in there for a little bit of decoration. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Find something crafty to do. I'll see you again soon. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.